I appreciate that the gentleman from Texas would yield me some time to speak today. We had a vote on the TPA here, and I just wanted to spend some time to explain, and I think my colleague from Texas probably feels the same way, that I am for trade. I think trade is good. I'm not against trade. But today I voted against the Trade Promotion Authority, which would fast-track the TPP, and I just wanted to take a second to explain why I was compelled to vote against this legislation today. First of all, like my colleague, I've read the TPP. I've been down to the confidential room, and it's a very thick document. There are 2 bound volumes, and there's a binder that goes with it as sort of a guide. But what struck me the most about this TPP document is the enormity of it. And my staff aren't even allowed to read the document. We're not allowed to have access to the internet while we're in there when we're looking at the document, not allowed to take notes from the room, and this document references other bound documents. So how could I possibly, one person, by myself in a confidential room, how could I possibly understand what some of the unintended consequences of this trade agreement would be if I can't understand the document, if I'm not allowed the resources to fully analyze this document? And I want there to be more daylight on this document before we put it on a path to approval. The other reason that I voted no today was that the implications of ceding our authority to the World Trade Organization struck me this week when we voted to overturn our country of origin labeling on beef and pork. Now, whether you think we should require companies to label beef and pork when they bring it into this country from another country, you know, whether that's a good thing or whether that's a bad thing, that doesn't matter. What disturbs me is that the reason for writing this law this week was the World Trade Organization told us we had to. They said, you've got to do that. And we swore an oath to the Constitution, not the World Trade Organization. And my concern is that this trade agreement could bind us to things that we don't even understand yet, because surely some trade agreement years ago has caused us this week to change our food labeling laws. And then, you know, the third and final reason that I voted against the TPA today, and this may be the best reason, in fact, is my constituents don't like it. I got 30 phone calls a day for the past week against this. I might have received 1 or 2 all week saying vote for it. But, you know, we didn't get a chip implanted in our brains when we came to Congress that makes us smarter than all of our constituents. And I think it's important to be humble, to know that we don't always have the right answer. We don't really have a whole lot more information than our constituents have in this case. And I think that their concerns that they expressed to me, like the president getting too much authority, that this president doesn't need more authority, that's a valid concern. And that there's not enough transparency, that's another valid concern. And I know my friend from Texas has expressed both of those concerns himself, and I'm sure he's hearing those from his constituents as well. But I appreciate the time that you yielded to me.